Today, traders mindset reset, non-farm payrolls, free cash Friday. Today, we're talking about planning and preparing for your trades. So non-farm payrolls and go-to instruments typically are going to be obviously major currency pairs, depending on how they're set up. Today, we'll talk about one of the things that I look for on a currency to potentially establish a best case trade instrument opportunity. Gold, of course, is always a go-to opportunity for major red news. So major red news, planning, preparing, and executing. One of the things that's important is having if this, then that scenario or thesis mentality. So on major red news, I talk about the 4 types of first minute candles. So bigger template. What is the template set up to potentially deliver? So what is the thesis that I have on the bigger template? Is it a reversal? Is it a trend trade? So there's only 2 on Free Cash Friday. We have a news momentum catalyst potential opportunity. So what are the potential thesis behind those opportunities? Is it going to be a first bar opportunity? First bar is when we have 3 levels of rise in any given day, or 3 levels of fall in any given day, where the first bar will engulf and explode from there. So it traps one level on the last lower level or the upper level volume, and it will not come back because it has the bulk of the volume trapped either up high or down low. We saw an example of that on the short squeeze setup on gold on the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart. The market had consolidated sideways for 3+ hours, exploded on the first minute, second, third, fourth, fifth minute closed as well, gave traders an opportunity to add into that parabolic opportunity that closed as a 5 minute first bar opportunity as well. The next scenario is first bounce. Now, first bounce is designed to be able to position myself in the market on a strong momentum catalyst that should carry through, meaning that the news that's released, the fundamental news, the major red news catalyst that's released should provide enough momentum, or the thesis is it's going back fast because there's traders in the money, to continue through after the first minute explodes. There's a little bit of a pullback and then a continuation. Now, the first bounce can show up on other types of news related events that are red flag, but on a non-farm payrolls, the thesis is that if this market sets up for first bounce, there should be strong carry through, and it should carry through immediately, which we got today. The third type of scenario is a first minute candle that wicks both sides in a trading range, and typically that will show up in either a non-farm payrolls or in a template where the market is consolidated in a larger trading range, and it's not a very neatly, tightly held little range where we've had a distance of a day where we've pumped up high or dumped down low. It typically will be in the middle of a trading range, and they spike both sides, or they spike up a certain distance, spike down a certain distance, and come right back. And I typically will avoid that altogether and focus on the next hour on a longer time frame, 5 minute, 15 minute, depending on the instrument. And the last scenario is that nothing at all happens in terms of an explosive related wick or anything else, and the market will continue to trade as normal. And I will often look at that type of scenario on a non-US dollar cross pair that is potentially set up as a best trade template on the day, a well-engineered template on the day. Why is any of that important? Well, it's important if you have a bigger thesis in place for a potential opportunity that could carry through very quickly for 75, 100 pips. And in some cases, if we're in an all-in scenario where the market may be going on 3 levels, 3 hours of dump or pump after a news catalyst related event, this allows you to be positioned in there and potentially add in later as well. Now, on a first bounce scenario, if the market is confirming, you have an opportunity to add in that first 5 minutes, because now we've got another time frame driving that move, and we have other time frame traders driving that move from up top and down low on some of the currency pairs as well. So planning and preparing is the first part, but then you have to be able to understand how live time execution is going to happen, and that comes from going through and walking through your lifetime strategy, meaning how are you going to manage yourself? So I know traders have 10 charts open when Payrolls gets released. I typically have one chart open. If I narrowed it down to gold, everything else is shut off. I shut off all my other stuff. I never have my social media or my phone on or any of that stuff. I never have any of that even near me when I'm at the screen. I have that chart open and that's it. When I'm executing on the screen and I'm there to, if I have the opportunity to make money or make as much money as I can, I'm focused. So I would encourage traders, if you've got all this other stuff open or going on at the same time, to really narrow your focus. And then in terms of being able to lifetime execute, a lot of traders, the news doesn't have to be traded by you. But if you choose, or if that's part of your strategy, then it's no different than an athlete going out and preparing before they go out to play their sport. You should be able to visually walk yourself through how you're going to execute, how you're going to be calm under pressure, using the clock, self-talk, setting some short-term goals. Once you're in the trade, how should this be behaving? If it's a momentum-driven catalyst opportunity, how fast should that move through? It shouldn't be hesitating or pulling back or going against you. If it's a momentum catalyst driven by other time frame traders, that follow-through should be fast and strong, meaning as soon as you're in the trade, you should be following through. Even if you're adding in, you should be following through towards the direction of that original thesis. And then once you're in that situation, where are you taking your profits at? Be prepared to understand where you're going to be taking profits. Is it a range expansion opportunity? Is it a level? Is it a particular area where traders were in the money and then it could reject? How long should you be in that trade, and how long should it take to reach that profit target if indeed it's momentum driven? So these are the sort of scenarios that if you walk yourself through and you've got a little process that each time you have that situation come up, you'll find that not only are you prepared, you've planned and prepared, but now you also are calm, cool, and have the ability to execute. And after a while, it becomes unconscious competence, because those little strategies that you incorporate using in lifetime become second nature. So you've got your starter in place. I'm going to add another one in because I'm confident that this is going to continue through. It's behaving now. Okay, so I'm into this trade. Where's the first area that this could struggle at? Or maybe I'll have some hesitation as it's grinding towards its target. Where's the ultimate level that this should at least punch into to clear out any profitable traders' stops or trigger breakout traders into the market, other time frame traders into the market? How should this behave? How should this behave once I'm in the trade? And that should happen almost every single day when you have a thesis or you have an opportunity that's going to play out. If you just come to the screen and you go through some charts and then decide to trade something, that's different than having a setup that you can see evolving, or you're prepared for once that news catalyst is released, or once the news is done and dusted, that now I can position myself in the market and it should continue to behave a certain way. Is this going to be something I'm going to add positions into? Or is this just a nail and bail? Or is this a catalyst that I should be pounding, driving hard into as much as I can, and at the same time be peeling some out so that I'm getting paid on the day and then holding on for that expansion or that completion of till it hits its target? Writing all that down, just having a little checklist to your side or on just to the left that you can keep glancing at to keep yourself focused in the moment, so that you're executing that trade, squeezing the maximum amount out of a winner that you can, or cutting a loss and keeping it as small as you can on a losing trade. So one of the things that I find is paramount to really catapulting your success and consistency is just having that little routine and strategy whenever you're starting your day. Number one, which instrument meets the criteria for a potential best trade candidate? What is my thesis in terms of planning on how this could unfold? Once it unfolds, how will I prepare and be able to execute? When should this happen? Is there any major red flags that are major red news going to be released. Okay, if that news is going to be released at 9:45 or 8:30 or 10 a.m., what are the scenarios that could play out after the news is released? Any other significant events that could affect me getting into this trade or how I should execute this trade? If it's behaving as it should, how much size am I willing to put on this opportunity? Is it going to be 25% of max size? Is it 50% of max size? Or am I going to wire money into the account and keep loading in as much as I can because it's not coming back? Keep loading it in to squeeze the maximum amount out of a winning opportunity, or is it nail and bail? So if you're prepared and you plan ahead, and then you have strategies to manage yourself, but also manage the execution of the trades themselves until it becomes unconscious competence through repetition, that's the scenarios that will help you forge that mindset in live time to know what the potential if this, then that scenarios that can play out. If it's one of those 4 types of opportunities or 4 types of first minute news releases, that's what I'm prepared for every single time. The first minute, as soon as it comes out, I already know in my mind what type of situation that I'd already thought might happen. Now, how am I going to execute this now that it's unfolding? How much do I want to keep adding into that? Where am I going to take the profits off at? How should this behave? If it's momentum driven, this should not be any pullback whatsoever. Where should it go through to straight away if they're going after the money? Little things like that. And then that way, as you're talking to yourself in live time and managing yourself, monitoring your breathing. I always talk about the box breathing technique. And then just being patient to let the trade follow through. Be patient to let the trade follow through. Anyways, we'll go through that in the video today. We'll go over some of the best opportunities this week, and then, of course, non-farm payrolls Friday. But planning, preparing, and for executing is one of the best ways to go into a major news catalyst opportunity if that's part of your trade plan. And then having the strategies to manage yourself in live time to make sure you can execute your plan. Keep it simple, traders. Congratulations. Fantastic Free Cash Friday, non-farm payrolls. Outside of that, I haven't gone back and looked. I don't know what's happened since then. Don't really care. It's the weekend. And I congratulate all the traders on a fantastic week. I appreciate all your feedback. And today we'll go through some of that on the technical video later this afternoon. Try to answer as many questions as I can that I got from traders. Congratulations. I wish you all a safe and very healthy, happy weekend, traders. Free Cash Friday next week. Rinse and repeat. Scale it up in size. Stay focused. If you had some challenges this week, don't get beat down, and don't feel that you're ever alone, because my favorite quote from Jesse Livermore, "The game taught me the game, and it did not spare me the rod." You are not alone, but it's a winnable game. Keep going, keep it growing, and keep it going 1% better every single day. Have a great weekend, and may the markets go with you.